Right now, there's no evidence that those who had COVID-19 and recovered are protected by antibodies, but it is something that scientists are looking into. A 22-year-old man holding a shotgun was killed by LBPD Friday night. Police received a call about a man opening fire in front of a restaurant in the midst of a dispute, wounding a woman in the process. Here locally, Mayor Garcia and the City Council have been working quickly to address urgent issues for residents and prepare for the surge in cases that is expected to come in the coming weeks. This is Dillon Hulse. When you're working on the front lines, some say, it's not a matter of if, but when you'll get COVID-19.
I had a fever and a slight short of breath, but nothing like too abnormal. I didn't think anything of it. And then that's when I'm like, maybe I am positive.
Our instructor, Elizabeth Sanchez, spoke with Giovanni Rioja, a healthcare worker who is currently attending Long Beach State to become an acute care nurse practitioner. He tested positive and has had to be in self-isolation.
My wife brings me food. She brings me the medicine. So she tries to limit her over here as much as possible. So.
What medicine are you taking?
Just Tylenol for the fevers. That's pretty much it. You have to do your breathing exercises. They're called COPD exercises, pursed lip breathing. Got to be active. You can't really lay down because that's what it wants to do. It's basically like Chris was saying, it gets into your lungs.
Rioja is referring to Chris Cuomo, who also contracted the virus. My friend Ben Cohen, a Brooklyn resident and screenwriting instructor at New York Film Academy, also got the virus. Cohen's symptoms have had their ups and downs, starting with his first visit to the ER when he was experiencing chest pain and shortness of breath.
It was right next to me on that day. There was a family of 3, and none of them had symptoms. And when asked why they were coming in to be screened, they were like, the grandfather of the family, the parents were like, yeah, our father just died and he was diagnosed with the virus. And this was at the end of March. This was like early in it still. Right. And that was the moment that was like, oh, geez, this is real.
Right now, there's no evidence that those who had COVID-19 and recovered are protected by antibodies, but it is something that scientists are looking into. Dillon Hulse, Campus Connection. This is Dillon Hulse reporting from Long Beach City Hall. To put things in perspective, the U.S. reported the first coronavirus case in the United States on January 21st, the first day of the spring semester at Long Beach State. Here locally, Mayor Garcia and the City Council have been working quickly to address urgent issues for residents and prepare for the surge in cases that is expected to come in the coming weeks. The Council unanimously approved an emergency ordinance to suspend evictions until May 31st for those who have lost significant income due to COVID-19. Renters have until November 30th to make any delayed payments. The city is also working hard to set up drive-through testing locations and acquire more testing kits through various channels.
As soon as we have the amount of tests that we need to open up drive-through or drive-up testing facilities, we will do so. But we have to have enough density of tests to do that.
Experts on the federal level, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, are predicting in the best-case scenario that between 100 to 240,000 people may die from COVID-19 in the U.S. President Trump has downplayed the danger throughout the virus's advance around the globe, but he shifted his tone in recent days and backed off from his proposal that Americans could return to work by Easter.
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead. We're going to go through a very tough 2 weeks.
The president recently signed a $2 trillion economic stimulus package into law that will send money directly to many qualified Americans and ease unemployment qualifications for those who have lost work during this crisis. For Campus Connection, I'm Dillon Hulse. There's been a lot of action in Long Beach sports this week. The Dirtbags won their series against Xavier last weekend at Blair Field, moving up the rankings to number 12 in the nation. Men's volleyball defeated Lindenwood in straight sets last Friday at home, led by 11 kills by sophomore Spencer Olivier. It'll be a battle between number 4 and number 3 Thursday night at the Pyramid when the Beach takes on UC Santa Barbara. Women's basketball faced UC Davis Saturday at home in the team's final game of the regular season. It was a back-and-forth affair through most of the game, which saw the ladies rely heavily on their defense to disrupt the conference-leading Aggies. Junior guard Shanasia Davison stood out offensively, scoring 13 on 5 field goals, and redshirt sophomore guard Makai Berry added 12 points of her own to go along with 3 rebounds. The Beach's defense finally wore down the Aggies in the fourth, as Long Beach scored 26 to UC Davis's 9. Senior Sydney Kinslow shined on senior day in her last regular season game at the Pyramid. She had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 steals, as Long Beach took the win 66-57. Following 2 straight wins last week to round out the regular season, the Long Beach State women's basketball team's season officially came to a close Tuesday night with a loss to the Cal Poly Mustangs in the first round of the Big West tournament. Now, as you can see behind me, Walter Pyramid remains largely empty here in the second night of the Big West tournament. That's because the Big West Conference announced on Tuesday, just hours before the first round games were scheduled to start, that the rest of the tournament would be played without spectators due to the growing concern over COVID-19. Coach Jeff Kamen and sophomore guard Justina King said during their post-game press conference that the atmosphere was definitely weird during the game. However, they didn't believe that it had any impact in their team's performance on the court. This is Dillon Hulse, Campus Connection News.